Jesse's girl, Stacy's mom. Why do people keep insisting on pitting bad bitches against each other like this? They need to team up and take out that homewrecker, Jolene. Jolene, Stacy's mom, Jesse's girl, Caroline, Mrs. Robinson. Fixed. Sweet, you added Caroline. And here's to you for remembering Mrs. Robinson as well. Where's Roxanne? Stuck at the red light. For all of those who understand the references, you're all old souls and I appreciate you. I love this new trend of threatening to make a post get tons of notes. The fear of going viral on this site is so at odds against the push to get your 15 minutes of fame on any other platform. You don't want to be a household name on this site. You're sharing a podium with Human Pet Guy for starters. Good post, OP. I think lots of people would agree. Don't you dare. When you're an archaeologist with a set schedule, sometimes people really get to understand who you are. When I dug in France, I always got a croissant at 5:20 from the same exact place in Echemines? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that in French. A week in, they had one lying on the counter for me by the time I walked in. By the second week, I got the exact amount I'd pay in hand when I walked in, because they'd reliably have it ready. I made sure to tell the owners that I wasn't returning on my last day of the dig. I may mention that every time I ordered in French, on my last day the owners gave me hugs and kindly told me to never speak in French again. They had your order ready so they wouldn't have to hear you speak French. Oh, motherfucker! When you feel like everyone hates you, sleep. When you feel like you hate everyone, eat. When you feel like you hate yourself, shower. Made a positive meme for you. Okay, but legit, this works. Like it really, really does work. This is the most important mental health advice. So yeah, listen to the raccoon, guys. Take care of yourselves. A new chapter of the Epic of Gilgamesh is revealed where the fragment of Tablet V was finally recovered. It was written in Standard Babylonian and dates back to the Neo-Babylonian period, 626 to 538 BC, according to researchers. New Epic of Gilgamesh dropped before the winds of winter. I absolutely fucking hate it here. This is why you gotta show love and comment on old fics. You never know when the author may drop another chapter. There's a dog behind you. What does he look like? A little like this. I have not seen this meme in so long. I'm loving it. One of the reasons I love Tumblr is that occasionally, classic memes like this show up on my dashboard. It's like reaching into the cupboard for food and accidentally finding a 19-year-old can of soup that you've kept for sentimental reasons. My favorite love language is trying, actually. Like when people try to learn your hobbies, or try to play the same sports that you play in an effort to get closer to you, people who try to love you the way you love people, people who will go to places you want to visit just for your sake, people remembering, putting in an effort, just trying. I think I am officially fandom old. I am so worn out from the arguments on who's the top or the bottom, who cares, what is allowed to be written, anything you want, bejeebus. What is problematic? I know, just tag it. What other people should do. They should live their lives free of judgment. There isn't a right way to do things. Tag your stuff appropriately, don't read stuff you don't want to read, and leave other people, me, alone. There is nothing quite like the freedom of having gone through all of the discourse and come out the other side into the promised land of not giving a fuck. The 3 keys to the promised land are block, unfollow, and do not engage. Writing tip. If you don't feel like actually writing, prepare for writing. Open your work in progress Word doc, read the last page again, scribble notes on what happens next. Once you've done this, you might just find yourself wanting to continue after all. And if you don't, no worries, you've made it easier to jump back into later. This always works for me. Really good advice. I do this to get into the writing mood. I can tell myself, I don't have to write, no pressure. Look, I'm not writing. This isn't writing. Great advice! Fanfiction is becoming people's primary form of entertainment right now because most media right now is so cheap, bland, recycled, and sponsored by people who love money more than the source material. Fanfiction is written for free by people who genuinely love what they're writing about. That's why it's better. That's why it's more satisfying. Fanfiction is a home-cooked meal made for yourself and for your friends. Media today is junky fast food spoiled by too much grease and the knowledge that the people producing it are being criminally mistreated and underpaid. Fanfiction is a home-cooked meal. Wow, bro, this rings so true! Have y'all ever had communion bread that was just so nasty? Like, I know we have to suffer as Christians, but do we really need to have whole wheat bread as the body of Christ? My old church used Hawaiian bread. My standards are high. Some old housemates of mine were Syrian Orthodox. At their church, different members of the church took turns baking the bread that would be consecrated for the Eucharist. This was all well and good, until one woman baked raisin bread. This led to the memorable occasion of a rather flustered priest who had not seen the bread until that moment, declaring, "This, except for the raisins, is the body of Christ." Except for the raisins? Oh my god! Raisins are just dried grapes though, and wine is his blood, so really it's like a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, except with Jesus. Like a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, except with Jesus! Is anyone reaching age-appropriate milestones anymore, or are we all in the soup? Aren't you tired of reaching age-appropriate milestones? Don't you want to just drink soup? Joke's on you! Transitioning from caring about superficial progress for its own sake to caring about enjoying a good soup in a pleasant moment is an age-appropriate milestone. Milestones are out. Minestrone is in. Thanks. Now I'm going to want to pronounce milestone like minestrone for the rest of my life. Also thanks. Now I am aware that I've been pronouncing at least one of them wrong my entire life. Which one? Milestone? Minestrone? Milestone? Minestrone? Oh my god. That's hilarious. It's so important to remember that Tumblr is bad, has been bad, and will likely remain bad for the foreseeable future. And that is vital to our survival. If Tumblr was a good website that worked, it would get turned into a corporate hellscape like every other site. It's so important that Tumblr is broken and poorly run and impossible to effectively navigate. It's all that's keeping us safe. Tumblr needs to work just well enough to keep the lights on, and no better. My singing voice is good for showers and mornings in the kitchen and drunken nights and lullabies for babies who need sleep, and I'm okay with this. I think it's silly to be ashamed of your art because it's not in a museum, and of your voice because it's not selling out stadiums. There will always be people who enjoy and appreciate what you can do. I don't know why, but this hit me really hard, and I've been staring at it for a couple minutes. You say amateur as if it was a dirty word. Amateur comes from the Latin word amare, which means to love, to do things for the love of it. Mozart in the Jungle. With It Too being released, we wanted to make sure everyone is being safe. So here is a tip when attacked by a group of clowns. Be sure to go for the jugular. My local movie theater thinks they're hilarious. What the fuck are you talking about, OP? They are hilarious. I was scrolled 3 posts past this before I realized that jugular is a pun on jugular, not just the clown equivalent of a cleric and therefore the one that needs to die first. Anyone else grow up and realize that your excessive reading as a child was actually just a coping mechanism for your incredibly shitty childhood, and you stopped reading as much as soon as you escaped or found other things to fill the void? Relatable. Yes, reading excessively as a child for a lot of us was a form of escapism, but part of the reason so many of us struggle to read now is because we based our entire taste in reading on what helped us escape. But as we got older and our needs changed, a lot of us never adapted our reading tastes. So we keep trying to read YA fiction, and it just doesn't hit the way it used to, and we assume it's because we can't read like we used to. But the reality is that we need a new genre of literature to suit our new life experiences and mature taste. I feel very seen right now. It'd really suck if I got ice or water-themed superpowers. I'd have to wear blue and white and gray instead of the reds and oranges I prefer. Wear the reds and oranges, and pull an Iceland Greenland on them. I have cornered you in this aquarium, where fire powers are useless. Fire powers? Dude, I'm an ice hero. I freeze shit and manipulate water. Also, I love aquariums. Thanks for the free entry. But you're dressed like Guy Fieri. Yeah, haha. I have an autumnal complexion. Also, no superhero should have a name that gives away the power set. Misdirection. Get him, Laser Eye! Haha, my mirror will deflect your— Wait, why are you made of stone now? They call him Laser Eye because he once blinded himself with a laser pointer and it was the funniest shit they'd ever seen. Okay, I'm particularly proud of this Tumblr post in particular because this was an ask on my own Tumblr blog. What's the difference between a tuna, a piano, and a pot of glue? Huh, I haven't heard that one before. I don't know. What is the difference? You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. That's what I thought at first, but where does the pot of glue fit in? That's where things get sticky. I just walked into that one. 2020 appliances. Break within 2 years. 1970s refrigerator. I will outlive you and everyone you love. I am eternal. I am time itself. Brand new sports car. Breaks down. My 2003 Honda Accord. You do not own me. I own you. I will transport your children and your children's children until I perish during the inevitable heat death of the universe. New sewing machine. No, I need software updates. My 1904 Singer 15. Just put your back into treading. I can sew through more layers than you dare to attempt, and I will still sew through them when the sun burns out if you remember to oil me. My digital watch from like 2004. Permadead. You think a new battery will help? It laughs at your pain. It mocks your futile scrambling. Nothing can bring it back. My pocket watch from 1872. Tick-tock, bitch. Planned obsolescence. Tumblr is really interesting because you can say something like, Thursday is Duck with a Top Hat Day, and half the website will reblog it. Duck in a Top Hat Thursday, y'all! Happy Duck in a Top Hat Thursday! OP only has themselves to blame when this has 10,000 plus posts and is posted every Thursday. Oh, don't you dare! Happy Top Hat Duck Thursday, everyone! You can never be too important on the internet. Hi! We're introducing important blue internet checkmarks here on Tumblr. They're a steal at $7.99. That's cheaper than some other places when you consider that you get not one, but 2 checkmarks for your blog on web only, for now. Why, you ask? Why not? Nothing matters. Get yours here. They did it. They actually did it. Holy shit, they're insane, but they are so funny. Important blue internet checkmarks. Many want it, few can get it. On Tumblr, it's available for everyone. Purchase today and get 2 blue checkmarks for $7.99. No need to call. Coveted status symbol, and now you can have one too, without having to be verified by Tumblr staff. Be an important person on the internet. Stand out from the rest by displaying not 1, but 2 blue checkmarks next to your blog name. This is not a verification status, it's an important blue internet checkmark, which in 2022 is just as legit. Also, the important blue internet checkmark may turn into a bunch of crabs at any time. Tumblr is 200% better than Twitter. It stacks more. Twitter can't get $1 out of me, but Tumblr's winning just by being funny. It maxes out at 24, 12 times. This is dumb and I love it. Holy fucking shit, I found the most shark plush ever! Like, you all cannot even be prepared! Like, what the fuck? How is he shaped like that? You cannot even understand! I bet you think you have some semblance of an inkling, of an iota, of an idea of what this shark plush looks like, but I promise that you are incorrect. Does anyone else even deserve to see him? Is humanity even ready? Is humanity even worthy? Literally, oh my god, his face, his eyes, his shape. Are you ready? Are you even ready?
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
Drum roll, please. Here are your new Snowplow names, Minnesota. After nearly 60,000 votes cast, Plowy McPlowface has 8 new friends joining the fleet, 1 for each MN. district around the state. Learn more here. Name a snowplow, class of 2022. Betty Whiteout. Control Salt Delete. The Big Laplowski. Plowosaurus Rex. Scoop Dog. Blizzard of Oz. No more Mr. Ice Guy. Edward Blizzard Hands. God damn it, that's the stuff. My surgeon came out and told my mom and brother on Tuesday that I'd be down and out for about 2 weeks. My brother, 2 weeks? Holy shit! Surgeon, well, consider this. She and I just had a knife fight, and I won, because she was asleep during it. My brother, oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. Your surgeon sounds fucking hysterical. Imagine if you had won, though. I made this post 6 years ago, and it has 195,000 notes, and this is my favorite response to it. I didn't learn about this in driving school. Stop, says the red light. Go, says the green. Wait, says the yellow light, twinkling in between. Kneel, says the demon light, with its eye of coal. Sauron knows your license plate and stares into your soul. This is always funny. I've only seen this legendary post in screenshots. The Photojournalist's Dilemma. Save your girlfriend's pasta or get the shot of a lifetime. We owe it to our commitment to the truth to not interfere in the story. That is the choice. The moment we act, we are involved with creating the story, and as we become a part of it, it becomes partially about us, and the truth then may never be known. Actors cannot be unbiased. Actors become targets. Rip spaghetti belongings. That's not how you say spaghetti bolognese! Why do people like a character who's committed war crimes but hate this other character just because they're annoying? Because it's fiction, Susan, and being annoying in fiction is a greater sin than being a supervillain, because it won't make me want to read about them. It isn't difficult to understand. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. Oscar Wilde. The war crimes are fictional, but my annoyance is real. Really? I say to inanimate objects that are not working like they usually do. Stay? I glare at inanimate objects that continuously fall over. Thank you, I say exasperatedly to the inanimate objects when they do finally work right or stay put. Sorry, I say to the table I bumped into. Shh, I say to the inanimate object that keeps making noise. Yeah, I'm coming, I huff at the persistent kitchen timer. Don't take that tone with me, I exclaim at objects that make strange and sudden unknown noises. Stop crying, you're fine, I snap as I'm looking for the charger cord for the electronic device beeping demandingly at me. Oh, nice. Real mature, I snarl at devices that suddenly stop working after I berate them for not working properly. Y'all ever get fatigued so bad that you're laying down and it feels like you need to lay down more? Advanced laying, somehow. Do you mean sleeping? No, like laying down, but more. More laying. Laying beyond the physical bounds of objects and surfaces. Clipping through the floor like Bethesda published me. I'm so upset. I just realized that the reason ghosts say boo is because it's a Latin verb. They're literally saying, I alarm, I am alarming, I do alarm. I can't. Present active, boo. Present infinitive, boar. Perfect active, boavi. Supine, boatum. Wrecked. Intransitive, I cry aloud. Bellow, roar, bray. Sed in prima remansi voci et identitam boavi. But I stayed stuck on the first syllable and brayed it repeatedly. Transitive, I call loudly upon. Bellow, cry, or roar forth. If it comes from the Latin word, they're actually saying, I'm yelling! Which is even cuter. Do they speak Latin because it's a dead language? Get out. This is exactly the kind of content I come here for. Like, I want to print this out, frame it, and put it on my wall. So, I'm actually from the future where we've been married 20 years. I am just here to resolve an argument over when and where our first date was. Oh, yeah? And how do you want to resolve this then? Well, you see, I thought on our first date we went bowling and had dinner. You thought our first date we got pizza and watched movies at my place. You have to tell me which one it was to settle this argument for the sake of our future relationship. I think you've gone back a little too far because we haven't done either of these yet, but if I got to choose, I think bowling and dinner would be our first date and pizza at your place would be our second. That was exactly what happened! I knew I was right. Also, it seems my phone was wiped clean during the time travel and I lost your phone number. Could I have that back, please? Censored for the person's safety. Jesus Christ, it actually worked! Yep, that guy was super smooth, like a smooth criminal. No one wants to really hear it, but lasting relationships include a lot of forgiveness, and patience, and and compromise, and learning, giving up pride, this, and communicating. Forgiving what exactly? Forgiving the fact that there are people who are working through their past, like you, and will occasionally project their past traumas on you the way you might with them. Forgiving yourself, because growth takes time, and learning to be a pair is more work than just being on your own. Having partners you trust to forgive those moments where you might fall, help you back up and move forward, in my opinion, builds up the trust and love you need for a thriving relationship. That last comment was beautiful. Shout out to my Arabic teacher that looked at us yesterday mid-lesson and said, "I'm worried. You all look exhausted and depressed." Of course, we were all like, "Oh yeah, we're dead inside. You haven't noticed?" And he snapped shut the textbook, threw up his hands and said, "That's not healthy. No more vocab. Time for dancing." And he taught us a dance from Iraq, and we danced instead of doing vocab. We didn't stop dancing until he saw all of us laughing and was satisfied that we were all feeling better. It was perhaps the coolest, most kind-hearted thing I've ever seen a college instructor do. Faith in humanity restored. There are good teachers out there. Gender-affirming surgery of give me elf ears. Gender-affirming surgery of give me vampire fangs. Gender-affirming surgery of give me tiefling horns. Congratulations! You are now a Homestuck troll! This is the worst possible reply to this post. Have a horrible day. You did that to yourself. All of Tumblr. We fucking hate bots. Also Tumblr. I will protect Haiku bot. Hey, I love bots when they're just here to play with us. Commercial bots suck. Hey, I love bots when they're just here to play with us. Commercial bots suck. Beep boop. I look for accidental haiku posts. Sometimes I mess up. Ha ha! The return of Haiku bot! Children in horror movies are great because they commit. Trying to get an adult to scream in terror requires them to unlearn all the societal teachings that tell them not to be loud or startling. Children are ready to put 110% of their lung capacity into making a noise at any time. Adult. I trained with a vocal coach, so I knew I wouldn't strain my larynx during filming. Child. You want me to scream? Okay. Ah! Describe Homestuck is a weird question, because you can describe the overarching plot, but not the weird branches it shoots off into. Like, Homestuck is about a reality-altering video game that comes about at the end of every world that, if beaten, allows the players to become gods of the next world. We follow 4 kids from our world who play it, the aliens from the previous game that made our world, and a reboot game that comes about when ours fails. And then someone asks about how the fuck Betty Crocker plays into it, and you don't fucking know how to answer without a goddamn essay. This is true. I know Homestuck, and I know about Betty Crocker, but for the life of me, I could not explain it to you. You just have to read it for yourself. I am seeing activity from blogs that have not posted in years. It's like watching permafrost melt, observing you all in my petri dish. The frogs are emerging from their slumber. Ancient viruses are emerging from the polar ice caps melting. Choose your vibe. Had a dream last night where marbles were back en vogue and everyone carried their marbles around in cute little pouches that they'd clip onto their backpacks, or purse straps, or belt loops, so they'd always have their marbles on them, and your marbles were deeply personal objects that showcased your individual personality, and people would get really passionate and proud of them, and playing for keeps was a deeply serious and honor-bound affair. And I played a game with an old man while waiting for a bus, and he told me how he met his wife while playing in a 4 keeps tournament, and in a miracle shot, he knocked out her most precious marble, a brilliant sparkling green one with an inside like a geode, and when he looked up he found she was crying at its loss, and so right there on the spot he proposed to her, so that she could divorce him and take it back in the divorce. But in the end, he told me, she kept me and the marble, and I awoke teary and resentful to be ripped from a fleeting world that had found for itself such a small and beautiful piece. Hate can be romantic. If you don't understand this, you will never comprehend my warrior's bond. This is how enemies to lovers works, I think. You misunderstand me. There is no reconciliation of enemies into lovers here. The states exist simultaneously. Romantic hate. You do not understand my warrior's bond. I understand I seem to have dug my own grave here. Dug with, perhaps, a spade? Oops, you reinvented Homestuck. Kinda like a kiss nemesis or something. If only there was some kind of portmanteau of those words. It's time we start oppressing people that use the word hubby. Sorry, but Hubble Space Telescope takes too long to say. As the literal social media manager for said telescope, I promise I screamed and frothed at the mouth with the desire to tweet a screenshot of this. Annabeth is terrified. Your what? Lol, yep, that's the day job. I started last year after graduating, working on the NASA side of things with the mission doing social media outreach, so I'm going to do my obligatory hubby link drop. Insta, Twitter, FB. I can't believe we're all young professionals and academics and we're still logging onto tumblr.com every single day to clown on ourselves. Who let this happen? Look man, this is the only place left I'm allowed to say clown shit without it impacting my career. Just let me have this. Executive dysfunction be like, wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. Wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. Wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. I recently learned that executive dysfunction can be broken down into two main categories: anxiety that your attempt won't be satisfactory, or confusion about where to start or how to break it down into steps. As much as we feel bad about it, it's extremely important to remember that it is not laziness, and we in fact shouldn't feel bad. Hey, reblog this instead! I was looking everywhere in the car for my vape because I lost it and I found these instead. I'm astounded at the level of personality that can be predicted from the word vape and these glasses. This is the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me in my entire life, but I can't even argue with this. What could I possibly say to defend myself in this instance? This was a one-hit KO. This was a murder. This was a fucking slaughter, and I have only myself to blame. You act like people knowing you're in the Squirrel Squad is a bad thing? Yes, that is exactly where these glasses are from. A perfectly respectable, long-standing anime, and nothing more. No, it's Homestuck. Been on Tumblr for years, and it's something I'm still struggling with. It's just hard for me to justify hitting the reblog button and putting something on my blog if I don't have anything to add to it. God, some of you are just so weird about having content on this site. Justify? Babes, it's a bullshit internet scrapbook, not a fucking PhD thesis. You know the thing where you find something funny and you hold out your phone to your friends so they can see it too? Reblogging is just you holding out your phone to show us the neat thing you found. Exactly, that's what I try to do on this YouTube channel. I'm showing you the cool thing I found on Tumblr. I hope you guys like this stuff. If you don't love languages, hear me out. My Telugu friend had been affectionately calling me a Hindi speaker, Gundi, for 7 months. We didn't realize until recently that the word has two completely different meanings in Telugu and Hindi, and that we both had completely different interpretations of her affection. In Telugu, Gundi means small, button, round, cute. In Hindi, Gundi means female thug. Well, that's interesting. Elon Musk has officially bought Twitter. See y'all on Tumblr. Brace yourselves. Fortunately, there is a very, very easy way to drive brands off Tumblr. Don't follow them. Yeah, they'll likely blaze some posts. The smart ones will blaze shit posts. Don't reblog them. Don't reblog. Don't follow. Just let them lurk around the edges of Tumblr. That's the whole joy of Tumblr, honestly. The lack of algorithm means that they can't game the system. They can't force their way in front of your eyeballs. Brands here are like vampires. They can't come in unless they're invited. Don't let them in. Denny's only succeeded here because we allowed it to. If you want to avoid the adpocalypse, keep supporting our local homegrown shitposters and ignore any attempts from corporations to create a Denny's too. So my dad and brother took separate cars to dinner tonight, and this happened. They look like they are arguing about who is going to go home and change. Oh, they were. Jake, you've got to be kidding me. Dad, you saw me walk through the kitchen on my way to pick up your sister. Jake, no, seriously, do you have an extra shirt in your car? This is ridiculous. Oh my god, they're gonna kill me. They didn't want to even walk into the restaurant together, let alone have this many people reblog this photo. Honestly, I'm not deleting my Tumblr solely in the hopes that this post one day hits 1 million notes. Good news! Gave my cat expensive bottled water, and now she won't drink tap water. I was too lazy to go refill her water bowl at the sink, and so I poured some of my spring water into her bowl, and she lapped it up in like 2 seconds. From then on, she won't drink tap water. I tried giving her only tap water yesterday, and she didn't drink for a whole day. So I relented and gave her bottled water this morning, and she drank it perfectly. It's Fiji water too, the most expensive kind. She won't even drink Dasani. Although I do agree that Dasani water tastes like it's been inside a water gun all day. Lol. Put tap water in the Fiji bottle and let her watch you refill the bottle with the Fiji water. Worth a shot. Do this OP, but let it sit overnight after you pour it into the bottle. Also, if your Fiji water was refrigerated, then refrigerate the fake Fiji water. Letting it sit overnight will remove some of the chlorine smell. Oh my god, it worked! Thank you so much! Now I know she's just brand obsessed and not actually a water connoisseur. Oh my god.